You are listening to Watch Cringe, and this episode is sponsored by DuFrane Watches. More about them during the show.
Hey guys, we're back. Episode 27. We have someone here who's very special, and he's joining us, and I'm not talking about Brendan. We have Steven. We'll talk more about who he is in a little bit, but I guess first off, wrist check.
Wrist check, guys.
What are you wearing, Bren?
I got my Zodiac limited edition worn and wound release.
That thing has a fucked up like bezel thing,
It's
right?
a fucked up little pip on the top, but hey, I got a good discount on that one.
But it's speckled.
It's speckled, so
The
it looks like
bezel
it
is
blends
speckled.
in. Yeah.
Yes.
That's the Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell
Saved by the
edition.
Bell Zodiac. Yeah.
I need to get a different strap, though.
I haven't seen this one.
That's
yeah.
It's cool. It's a worn and
Yeah, I
wound
just got it recently.
limited edition.
A month ago or something.
The strap sucks.
The strap is not.
Like, it's
it's cool that it's different, but I want to get silicone.
cute, but how usable is it? It kind of sucks.
Well, why don't you put the moon swatch strap on it?
Shit. There you go.
That'd be kinda nice,
Even
actually.
worse.
Then you could really know what a bad strap is.
So I'm wearing a Tag Heuer Monaco. It's because my kid's been watching a lot of Breaking Bad. He finally finished it. All right, how about you, Steven? What do you got on, boss?
I have a one of two Barton Springs, DuFrane Barton Springs.
Oh, you mentioned DuFrane.
DuFrane.
Wow. So it's funny that you mentioned that because we have our special guest is Steven from DuFrane Watches. And I guess I'll give a little intro.
Go ahead. Hold on. So we're going to split up this episode into three, right? Essentially three topics, three main topics. We're going to be talking about the person, the journey, and the product. So we'll start off with who the person is. Go ahead, Brent.
That's what's great about this podcast is I've had zero prep for this. And
Absolutely.
So it's great
Just
to
come
know
in,
what my
guys,
three, my
just
three
come in
topics
raw.
are.
This is legitimately brand new to him.
Yeah, and it's all like brand new to us too. We just made
Go
this
ahead.
a few hours ago.
They've got paper, they've got cardboard, they've got,
Got coffee,
they
we got all the
everything. And I'm
professionals.
sitting
Ready.
here naked and alone.
Let's see. Go ahead, Brent.
So
Who is
today
Steven?
I introduce Steven, the founder and CEO of DuFrane Watches, also marketing and media manager at DuFrane, customer service support and logistics manager at DuFrane, vendor relations manager, roadshow manager, quality control agent, also at DuFrane, sales director at Sprinkler, father of three, owner of a dog, a Tesla, a Porsche GT3, a beautiful home, a smoking hot wife, and a longtime vegan, WIS 512 member, and of course, a longtime friend of the show.
Wow, that sounds really good. Aside from that, he has had a lifelong love affair with the poeticism, timelessness, and inspirational beauty of mechanical watches. From the moment of his first watch purchase as a youngster, around 8 years old, to being gifted by his mother his grandfather's old Weiler mechanical watch, he knew that watches were going to be one of the most central themes in his life. Did we miss anything, or was that pretty accurate?
Do you just want to read the entire website? It's good to see you've done your research, Jay.
Plagiarized.
Lots of prep I could see.
Go ahead, Brent.
So, for those unaware of what DuFrane is, give us two sentences to describe DuFrane.
Two sentences that describe DuFrane.
In fact,
Yeah.
try to do it in half a sentence if you can.
Okay. Austin assembled mechanical watches.
That's on the
Okay.
website.
I mean, that's
That's actually
part
on
of
the
part of the
website.
branding, but yeah, it's shorter than two sentences.
See, that was the 5-word thing. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
we
the
could give him
5 word.
5 words, and I
Yeah.
bet you he'll do it.
There
That
you
was
go.
Well, now we know what he's capable of.
Powerful.
He's powerful mind.
So,
Small thing. It's good that small things impress you both.
so our wives and girlfriends.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So, with the whole like Steven being kind of a jack of all trades for DuFrane, right? So, we wanted to kind of talk about some things specifically, like how'd you start? What made you realize that watches was going to be sticking around for the rest of your life? And why would you continue on the passion?
Yeah.
So I guess let's start with how'd you start it? Like, aside from what I already told them, which was when you were a youngster. around it.
Yeah. I mean, so, I had been a watch weirdo ever since I was a kid. And I'll explain kind of why the brand is actually called DuFrane. But ever since a kid, I liked watches. I still, and I should have brought it. I still have the first little quartz. It was like bright silver and bright red. You know, something a 10-year-old would buy. I still have that first watch that I bought with my own, allowance money. But I've just been a fan of watches since I was a kid. My dad wore a watch. I'm right-handed, but you guys notice I wear my watch on my right, but it's because my father is left-handed and he always wore his watch. So that's just why
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool.
That's why I always wore it. So
little trivia.
I just simply was infatuated with them, but I didn't really know why, to be honest with you. But it always intrigued me. I was really big into dinosaurs when I was a kid. And when I learned, but when I learned more about how much time had elapsed between dinosaurs and present day, it really got me into the whole kind of like concept of time. And so I know I was a deep thinker as a child.
Yeah. Really. You know what I was thinking at that age? I was fucking watching The Land Before Time, just enjoying the movie of dinosaurs, not thinking about like an existential crisis.
Yeah, my brain just doesn't ever shut down. But the first watch that I really got into, and I think a lot of people's journey starts with Tag. Mm-hmm. So the first watch I bought with my own money that was a really high quality Swiss watch was a Tag Heuer. The Link.
The Link.
Oh yeah, that crazy bracelet and But I went on a couple of trips, and one time me and a buddy actually went through Switzerland and really got into touring some of the facilities. We went to Basel and had a custom piece made at a little independent manufacturer called Ox & Junior. Yeah. So once that took place, that was in my probably late 30s, somewhere in there. That's where I really started to kind of turn the screws in the head saying, man, I got to figure out a way to get into this space. And I've been in software sales for a long time. And one day I kicked off a web meeting for software sales and I was bored out of my gourd. And I said, I know what I need to do. And I literally Googled how to start a watch brand. Literally. On that call, while it was going on, I was checking out how do I start a watch brand. So I'm not a trained watchmaker. I'm not a trained designer. I'm not a marketing person or a branding person. So it was a complete journey of just spawned from passion completely. So that's where I started it. Literally on that call, I came up with the concept of calling it DuFrane. DuFrane is my mother's maiden name, and she always encouraged the love of watches. So that's the homage to her.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
So
the
cool.
rest is history, huh?
Yeah.
Like legit, that's similar to how you and I started the podcast. Just Google how to start
a watch podcast.
Yeah. Google's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the new God.
Yeah.
Just answer everything.
Yeah. So that's when you knew it was gonna stick, huh?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. No, I'm self-funded. I haven't taken a
Kickstarter campaign.
No, I mean, I did a Kickstarter for the marketing side of it, but I already paid for the watches, already built the watches, but I wanted to see how Kickstarter played from a marketing perspective. That's why I was on it. But I launched the brand completely without being on Kickstarter. And, I am, like I said, self-funded. And so I've wasted a lot of money trying to figure this thing out, but the benefit of that is I have no debt. I have no investors.
you're not
I can
tied
do
to
everything.
anyone.
I can do anything and everything that I want to do.
Autonomous.
And it's all driven by customer, customer feedback. And actually, even if Jay, if you were to look at that dial on, we're looking at a Travis piece that, there's some feedback that you gave directly. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but the Travis print on the prototypes used to be small
font, yeah.
and now it's all caps, and it's
There we
directly
go.
because of feedback.
Community
that you said.
feedback.
Yeah. So those are my bosses, or the customers. Yep.
First question is, in a business, I think relationships is probably one of the foundations of like any business, like customer relationships, but also business to business relationships. So who has been kind of important for DuFrane as you've been growing your brand?
So as I started the brand, like I said, I'm not trained in anything around this industry, and learning how to go through the actual manufacturing process was really hard. And coming up with ideas for the design, all of them are custom design. They're not cases off the shelf or anything like that. I think y'all know that, but just for the broader audience, everything is really designed from ideas that I have usually when I'm running. That's kind of how I decompress. And you know, the process of learning how to manufacture was really, really hard. So establishing different relationships, meeting people, having conversations, it's a lot of money to start a single watch line. And so there's a lot of trust that has to be built because you don't really know anything about the industry. You don't really know these people that you're talking to, and hoping that the money that you're investing in it actually is legit and comes out real. So I have two partners that I work with very closely from the manufacturing process that have direct ties with a lot of the manufacturers. And that's been just a godsend to have two people I've worked with for, you know, one guy's 3 years, one guy's 6.5 years, that I can just just trust completely and know that, you know, I'll be well guarded. That whole process of learning how to go through manufacturing was really challenging, but it 1,000% pales in comparison to the marketing aspect, to the building of the brand and trying to find an audience, and how do you market to that audience? How do you attract more lookalikes to that audience? That's complete novice information to me. So the only other person that's a part of the brand, aside from my wife, is a guy that runs my marketing. And he's actually in Central England, of all places. And he's going to start taking a little bit more presence with the brand. You've probably seen, if you follow the Instagram account, the tattooed out guy.
Yeah.
That's him.
Wow.
Because that's not me.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. So with Austin being such a big inspiration draw for the brand, and Austin also being kind of now the home for a fair bit of celebrities, I'm saying like Joe Rogan, there was a rumor that Bren had heard about.
Yeah, I heard this rumor. We've heard rumors that Alex Jones started wearing your watches.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, he better take it off before he goes to jail, I guess. Alex Jones. Well, yeah, the government, world domination. Here we go.
Oh man,
He's a hoot.
I just saw his interview
He's a hoot.
yeah, I saw.
with Andrew Callahan.
Yeah, that was a good-
Man, it
yeah.
was unhinged.
If you want to see a good interview with Alex Jones, check out the Channel 5.
Channel 5, yeah.
But a good point that you brought is that the brand obviously is selling, Austin in a
Yeah,
sense,
yep,
right? And obviously Austin's a cool city. I think it's like an international tourist destination. I mean, can you speak of how positive that's been for the brand? And how that's helped you?
No, Austin was, so as I, kind of talk about this passion of watches and trying to figure out the whole branding behind it, everywhere that I would travel, anytime, I'd have a conversation, this is pre-starting the brand, and I'd say I'm from Austin. Every now and then there's a mix of, Boston or Austin? So, but 99% of the time, people's face would light up. Right. They just, Austin, I've got an uncle there. I want to go there. Yeah. Or any conversation around it. And so for the last 20 some years, that has been my experience. That's kind of like, I've kept track of like, man, I'm going to ride on these coattails. So when I came up with the brand itself, that's exactly what I wanted to do was have a play of, wearing Austin on your wrist. Right. So that's why every piece is named after that, an Austin landmark or figure or something of that nature. So yeah, it very much was a foundational part of the brand. Yep.
That was a good boost.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, using Austin is just so good, dude. Good. It pays for itself.
Yeah.
And there's so many unique characteristics of Austin. So each piece is designed after either a historical figure or a landmark. But I mean, there's so many, think of a dress watch and call it the Westlake. Right. Think of a funky, crazy, cool, colorful watch and call it the SoCo. Right. You can come up with so many different ideas.
A lot of inspiration to draw
because
from.
the town is so diverse that way.
Make it like a really bad looking watch. Call it Brendan's Neighborhood.
I'll tell you what, the crystal will have bars over it.
Yeah. Crystal bars. Make it a mineral crystal so it gets all scratched up.
Brendan's Neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it barely keep time.
So with DuFrane being almost 7 years old, which honestly is surprising for a micro brand to even last longer than 3 years.
Agree.
To be honest.
Yeah.
How do you think that affects what you have for being a brand that's been here for quite some time?
Yeah, no, I'm super fortunate. So kind of what I was mentioning before is how do you find that audience, and then how do you try to find a lookalike to that audience? And I have really, really cool customers. I have some customers that have bought every single watch and every colorway within that particular model.
Wow.
Like there's a guy in Michigan. Well, he's in Michigan again. He was Michigan and Colorado and back to Michigan. I think he has 20, maybe 18
Holy
or 20
crap.
DuFranes. And I can't wait to meet him. I've just not actually met him.
Oh, you never
You need to fucking go there right now.
Yeah,
Oh, I know.
What the hell?
He's incredible. But I have so many customers that are maybe not quite that cool, but they're very, very cool in the sense that every piece that I have, they pick up, or they're constantly asking what's next, what's coming. So it's starting to get, and I think there's a tipping point, and kind of to your point, man, that 3 or 4 year range.
Yeah.
Where you really start finding that audience and they share their information with others. And I start noticing I'll have certain sales in certain cities that just kind of pop a little bit. And I think it's just the virality of someone saying, hey, I got this piece. You should check them out. You should check them out. You should check them out. So that word of mouth is still a massive part of the success of the brand, having a good quality piece, but also my phone number is on the website, my emails, I
Don't
talk
dox
to
this guy,
people.
guys.
Don't dox this
Yeah.
guy. So I was gonna. You want me to go? You can go.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask.
Sorry. Before I forget.
Okay, go.
So what watches did Alex Jones have from your brand?
I've not personally met Alex Jones, so I don't know.
He's just a fan. He's just a fan of
He's
the
just
brand.
a huge fan.
Yeah.
He's just a huge fan. When he heard that we were doing this with you, he asked if he could get on the show, and we couldn't, just for legal.
we only
liability.
have three. Yeah, I only have 3 mics.
You
though,
only have
so,
3 mics,
Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, something like that. So when did you start seeing your traction start actually hitting? Like you guys been around for the 7 years, but what year would you say it started?
Yeah, it was a good. The first 2 years were tough, just to find that audience. But in 2020, when COVID hit, everything changed. It was so weird. March, April, very few sales for obvious reasons. Nobody knew if the world was ending or not. But later in that May through December timeframe, the brand exploded. And then 2021 doubled what 2020 was. And I eclipsed 2021 about 3 months ago in 22.
Holy.
So it's just grown exponentially. And I mean, maybe it's just coincidental that COVID and the brand maturity were at the same time, or it was just, people were bored and they had more money and they weren't traveling and they started getting into watches.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Like being stuck.
Being stuck,
Like
you're spending
excess.
it.
Yeah, I saved.
I know I was. Yeah, I was exactly same way.
during that time.
Would you say that your relationship with Windup helped garner an audience?
I don't know. I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt by any stretch, but I've done San Francisco and I've done, and that was 2019 or 2018. So that was pre-COVID, right?
Okay.
And then we just did wind up in Chicago,
Yeah.
whatever, 2 or 3 months ago. So I don't think it's hurt, but that's a fairly limited audience that's in person at those events.
Right.
So, I mean, I think most of the traction, if you will, has just come from
Word of mouth.
Yeah, word of mouth and
That's
Instagram,
crazy.
and
Wow.
I have really, really high ratings in terms of the website and the customer
later
success.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So with the whole wind up thing, right? So we
Zash?
were
Zash?
curious.
Is it Zash? Zash. Yeah, Zash. Yeah.
So we were curious. So do you get invited to that? Is that like a
for wind up? Oh, for
Yes.
yeah.
So you were invited. It wasn't like you didn't approach them and was like, "Hey, throw me in."
No. They I'm trying to remember how it may have happened. The first one in San Francisco, but they do have a notice that it's coming, and whoever expresses their interest first, then we only have a limited number of tables.
see.
So I mean, there was that communication, but
Like you had to be on that mailing list or something.
yeah.
Somehow
I
you got
think
on
New
there.
York might be a little bit different than Chicago and San Francisco, though, because I will say I don't recall seeing anything for New York. Maybe I did get it. I don't know, but I wasn't interested in New York anyway.
It's quite expensive to hold one of those booths there, right?
It is.
It's
It is.
Is it worth it for a micro brand to kind of get into that space?
I think
from a consumer, when I see a brand there, I think they're more serious about what they're doing.
Yeah,
In
was gonna say-
comparison to like a
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And that's why I was real hesitant about Kickstarter when I started the brand, because it just had a different energy and feel than what I wanted DuFrane to portray. But for sure. And I mean, when you go and see, I mean, I think any of I don't know, maybe you categorize some watch fairs better or different than others, but Microlux or, Wind Up or any of them, if you see a brand there in person, it changes your feeling of the brand because you get to meet the people, you get to hold the pieces, you get to see everything around it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think it hurts by any stretch, and I think it really does help because I'm not going to those watch fairs to sell watches. So I don't see.
You're going there to get drunk as shit.
I'm going there to.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
How you went a different direction.
No. But I'm going there to simply meet people and expose them to the brand. I just that's my I guess ROI is like, did we expose people to the brand?
Yeah, like getting that much exposure.
Yeah.
Like,
because that's your retail space, basically.
Yeah, I don't have a
retail
physical location. Yeah, that's right.
You're just trying to do a super spreader event for DuFrane.
Yes, we were really shooting for that in Chicago. No masks around the DuFrane table.
Well, I just actually had my second bout of that COVID.
Yeah, he just got
but it was
over
like
it.
super light. It was like less than
You
a
got
cold.
the super blood, man.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you get COVID enough. You get immunity.
Yeah, you start getting immune, yeah.
So in a sea of micro brands, right? So I mean, I know that we kind of touched over it already, but aside from just being word of mouth, what are some of the things that you did differently or kind of implement that made you and your brand stand out?
I mean, yeah, I think that one of the things that we kind of anchored on, when I say we, me and his name is Nick, the marketing guy. I mean, we really tried to anchor on what can we do aside from whether you like the watch or not is completely subjective. So if you like the looks of it, you like the looks of it. If you don't, you don't. But what can we do as a little bit different as a brand? And some of that is imagery and the energy you see on Instagram and you see on the website. It's a darker, more subdued, different kind of like earth tones and things like that to make you feel a certain way. But every single customer I get, I try to have a conversation with. If there's ever an issue, I try to handle very quickly. If it's, some experience where I've got people that call up and say, hey, I only wear it every now and then, and it doesn't seem to hold time. Is there, maybe something wrong with the battery? I'm not going to make fun of anybody who doesn't know there's no battery in this thing, right? So I don't want to make anybody feel like they should have a certain level of knowledge or anything like that. So I try to be very approachable and really try to drive that age-old theme of just customer experience. I just really want my customers to feel like they're connected to the brand.
Do you feel that most of your customers are buying DuFrane because they associate it with Austin, or do you have some of them that are just like buying it because they like the design of the watch and they don't really know too much?
Maybe associate with him too.
I can't speak for the ones that I don't talk to, but I have most of the people that reach out come to me with some story about my brother lived on Lake Travis. Okay. I got to get him this watch.
I see.
Like there's a ton of those kind of conversations.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we're actually going to be looking at some of that stuff in a bit.
Yeah. We're going to go through your product catalog a little bit.
Yeah.
Cool.
So go ahead. I think you got one more thing.
We know that DuFrane is somewhat of a family business, strictly coming from the name alone, as it was your mother's maiden name.
This feels like a loaded thing. I'm ready. Let me get braced here.
And you travel with your family on these road shows, and they actually help and are behind the booths. Has this been a great bonding experience with your family? And do you see like your kids taking over at someday?
Yeah, that's been an interesting occurrence because my kids are now old enough to kind of like understand what this is. My youngest isn't interested at all. He's 16. My middle one is 20 and my oldest is almost 22. Those two are getting more interested. My wife, it's kind of like she's a Packers fan because I'm a Packers fan. I mean, she's kind of like into it only because that I'm kind of,
I got you.
Right. But will the kids take over? Probably not. And maybe that changes. But I wouldn't,
you're not going to push
I
it on
didn't
them?
create the brand so that it would be, handed down to them. No.
You don't want to create a DuFrane Foundation?
Yeah, well, maybe.
Who
But
knows,
nonprofit?
Who knows?
But no, the Chicago experience was really the first time that they very much took part in learning about the watches, being able to answer questions from people that come up, and it really drove some interest for them. So we'll see if, we'll see if they stay with it. Yeah.
Exposing him to
Maybe
them.
don't have them wear stupid outfits.
Oh, no. That's part of it. They have to.
Q, guys, he's actually wearing the same fucking outfit from Chicago.
That's the DuFrane uniform, guys.
Because I mean, we were just wondering. It's like, it was your mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
Like the whole family aspect of it seems honestly quite interesting. Something
cool.
that you
Do
get
with
to
your
spend time
family.
with your kids with,
Yeah.
and something that.
Oh my God.
Did you pay them?
Yeah, I actually did.
Okay, so we don't have to report you to the
No,
child
no, no,
services.
no,
or-
no.
That's
They-
good.
they- I
Okay.
had- yeah, we-
$10.99. It's $10.99.
Yeah, it is $10.99. There's no health care. There's no dental, but they do have to pay taxes on that. But no, it was a great experience for me as just a father, seeing my kids like something that
That you do.
I like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
so
I
many
get
things
it.
that we don't connect on, which is totally fine. But like,
Yeah.
you know, they're young and immature, and they like these stupid things like computer games. Like you could probably your kids
yeah.
are probably into that computer
I
stuff,
mean,
right? I mean, the
we
computer
are.
stuff is
That's us. We spend a lot of time playing video games. Actually, my kid does play with us.
Yeah, we actually play with Jay's kid.
You guys might be playing with my kids online for all I know.
Maybe, who knows?
No.
Yeah. If you could tell younger Steven something before you started this journey, right? Yeah. What would you tell yourself?
If I had the foresight to know that at some point I wanted to start a brand, regardless if it's a watch brand or any other kind of, you know, brand, go take some marketing classes, Steven. Go learn about marketing. Go learn about, you know, how to be creative from that perspective. Because that's kind of what I was talking about. The whole manufacturing was really tough. It paled in comparison to the marketing.
Marketing is it's a whole beast, man.
I can sit upstairs. I have a workshop in my house, but I can sit upstairs and I can figure out the mechanical thing. I can figure out how to change something physical. Marketing is not that way. It's esoteric. It's an idea. It's an identity. It's a thing that, you know, that's the biggest part that I struggle with the most.
It's like constantly picking up on what's trending and
It's
understand how to read the audience.
Yeah. And how much information to share and how much information not to share. Does that create, you know, interest, or does that piss people off? Like there's just so much about it that it's, you know, if I had to do this all over again, I would, you know, focus a lot more time on that.
On
that part of
marketing.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like even looking at a lot of stuff now, a lot of the big brands, they don't innovate. There's nothing new.
No.
A lot of it is just marketing.
It is. I mean, well, look at, Daniel Welton, you know, God rest their soul, they're dead, but they had absolute, you know, terrible pieces from a perspective of
25
quality.
cents.
Right. But look how big they got because of their marketing.
That and the Movement guys. I mean,
Yeah.
like Movement now, I think it's starting to make some
I
stuff.
think they're doing something different now. Yeah,
they're doing new stuff. I mean, I would never get a Movement, but it's not for me.
They
right?
got bought out, right? But
They were bought out by is it Fossil Group? I don't think so.
It's one of those.
It's a big group, but they got tons of money.
They got paid
It's
out.
the
dude.
marketing.
Yeah, it was like
that
200
sold
million.
them.
Yeah. They got
Like,
paid out.
legit, the marketing is all it sells.
But
I
that's
mean,
my point is like I
marketing.
played with that where I'm like, I don't care about the marketing. It's going to be a quality piece. It's going to be a Swiss movement. It's going to be all of these things that like, that's not,
Really, like,
that's, yeah.
people aren't as appreciative of those things
No.
as you think
You
they
think
would be.
people give a shit about the nuances of your
watch.
your watch?
People
1
like-
plus 2 seconds a day loss.
Yeah.
Some people.
Some people do. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that from time to time. I'll have that kind of conversation with someone like, hey, it's running +4 right now. The card said +1.
So sheesh. So another one is like, where do you? So with DuFrane being almost 7 years old,
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like, where do you see your brand in 7 years?
I don't see it being much bigger, frankly. I don't really want it to be much bigger. I love what I'm doing, right? And
Yeah.
and if it, you know, if it starts to become a level of work. I'm you know, in my 50s. I've been working my whole life. I love doing DuFrane stuff because it's absolutely not work. There's effort involved for sure, but I don't have aspirations for this to be a household name. I don't have aspirations for it to be, you know, 5,000 pieces a year. I like being a nice, small micro brand, handful of people, to your point, family, you know, oriented. So I don't anticipate there being a monumental shift. But we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. There's some things that
Unless they get bought
unless
out.
you get 200 million
200
offer,
million
then maybe thinking
maybe yes.
maybe this can be
if I get a $200 million offer, I won't be doing this podcast. I'll tell you.
Hey, that's why we got him in early, yo.
exactly. We gotta
We're getting everyone early.
No.
Yeah. You want to talk about the products now? The watches themselves, or what are you thinking?
Yeah, maybe after this ad.
Designed and assembled in Austin, Texas, DuFrane's all-new Travis Dive watch is available in 3 distinct color options and will begin shipping this October. Check them out at DuFraneWatches.com or DuFrane Watches on Instagram. Now back to the show.
Yeah, we're back. So now we're gonna move on. Let's get to the bread and butter,
watches,
right?
yeah.
The watch is the product
The
itself.
meat and the potatoes,
That's right.
the case and the strap,
What else? The
the
lug,
handset and the dial,
the lug and the lug width.
the
Right.
box and the papers,
Ooh,
Ooh.
the
There you go.
USPS box
and
the
lost
outer box
and the lost shipments.
UPS. Yes.
So yeah, let's talk about some of the watches.
Yeah. So
it
Steven
started.
brought a watch roll.
Yeah, it started with the Bergstrom.
Yeah. Once you give us the little story, we can run it down through.
Yeah,
each,
let's run it down.
Okay,
each
so
one that you got.
I know you can't see this, but I'm pulling out different pieces.
We'll put it
One
on.
of the challenges I have right now, which I think a lot of brands have, is inventory. I'm struggling to keep inventory in, which is a good thing.
I mean, that's
but
a good problem.
It is
to
a
have.
good, it's a good
problem to
problem,
have.
but it is a problem because it's very limited. So when I launched the brand, so I mentioned at the beginning of the episode here on my wrist was a Barton Springs prototype. So I made 2 pieces to launch the brand, the Barton Springs diver and then the Bergstrom. It's kind of an aviation inspired piece, very traditional, old school mechanical. Yeah, listen to that.
Oh man, that thing
shit.
cranks.
Go ahead and put it up there and do that little.
No, we do that later.
Wait for don't crank that all the way. Wait for
Christ.
the end. That
So
thing's-
the Bergstrom is a very it's a very specific piece for a customer, meaning it doesn't have broad
It's not
appeal.
a wide
It's
reach.
very, very narrow. Somebody that wants an old school piece like that, somebody who wants a manual wind. So I launched with that, and it stayed in the catalog, if you will. And it is a fairly slow mover, but that's fine. I love it. Then I launched with the diver, which was the Barton Springs in 2018. And that's where I started getting a lot more traction. And the diver market in microspace in any brand is so saturated, but every time I come up with a diver piece,
It just goes.
it's just
like
people
that.
love divers. They just love the
Yeah.
tool watch, put it
Being
on
able
and
to
beat it
use
around.
it.
And yep.
So for the frequent flyer, you would know that Bergstrom is Austin's airport's name. And the watch is actually not named after the airport.
Correct.
yeah.
And it is off the pilot.
It is actually off of Captain John August Bergstrom, who was the first Austinite killed in World War II in the Philippines.
Oh shit, my peoples.
Your people,
Your people's killed him.
No,
your peoples got bombed at the
Yeah.
same time
Yeah, yeah.
Pearl Harbor got bombed.
That's a
Yeah,
rough.
yeah.
That's a
We're-
rough one.
Yeah, we good. That's why I like that guy.
Yeah. Well, I do like the Flieger one that you have.
That is the Bergstrom.
Yep.
Because the movement is so special.
Yeah.
And I think that it gives your clientele a way, like people that want to peel deeper into the watches and the
To kind of
mechanical
just see
aspect.
it. Yeah.
This is such a cool story. And I was wondering if you could tell the story
Yeah.
of the Unitas movement that you sourced for this.
You bet. And so when I first launched the Bergstrom, I had that open case back, but the actual movement was a 6498 and it was not decorated. So I had an open case back that looked at a very bland plane, but still mechanical, movement. So as I progressed with the design, I went to a premium, and then now this one is called the Air. And each time I've gotten a little bit more special movement. So this particular run, I was able to find these 6497, these Unitas movements that were actually out of a defunct Swiss pocket watch company. And so I picked these up, had them re-oiled, and I tune them and time them here in the Austin shop. But so they're gold, where they've got great decoration. They're from the 60s. And yeah, they're just a really, really cool piece.
Were they gold plated and decorated when you found them?
Yes.
Wow.
They're
It's
they're
a
factory.
beautiful
Yeah.
looking
Yeah, the
movement, man.
yeah,
I mean,
the perlage on them.
perlage
yeah.
is so beautiful on that.
And I have a little Easter egg on the actual winding wheel. Mm-hmm. And so for those that have that, they know what that is.
Yeah. it's I guess I won't spoil it, but it kind of looks like a woman's cleavage. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's another Easter egg in there. Oh. Yeah. So you haven't looked hard enough. That's okay.
Let me see if I can get it by the end of the show.
So after that one, though, I launched the city limits. So again, the theme being some landmark or historical figure. So the city limits is actually a GMT. And I really designed that because I've got some friends who are musicians and they're constantly on the road, constantly traveling. So I thought a 2 time zone piece to keep track of your home time.
And actually, speaking about that watch, we were just speaking about the
Yep, city limits, yeah.
that's the one that
It's going on right now with all these different pieces, all signifying different things. The Bergstrom, of course, the aviation style, a GMT for city limits. And we have the Barton Springs,
Deep Eddy.
the Deep Eddy. Deep Eddy, not the vodka.
No, it's true.
So Deep Eddy is a swimming hole, right?
Yeah, it's the oldest swimming pool in Texas.
You want to continue that thought or just duck out after halfway through the sentence?
I mean, no, I was because like they're all named after Austin, and so like we're talking about it because we all know it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we all know
But most people who are listening,
it. Exactly. Yeah.
and like the one person listening out of Kuala Lumpur, he's
They
not
don't
gonna
know
know
anything
this.
about
Yeah.
Austin. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Right.
not gonna know this. So it's
Right.
like it's not bad to give him like Barton Springs is a really fucking cold pool.
Yeah, 68 degrees.
Jesus
Very,
Christ! Have you
very
ever done the
chilly.
polar plunge there?
Oh, every year we have. My wife makes me. We have to every
It's
year.
so fucking cold.
I've never done
It
it.
depends on how cold it is outside. Because if it's cold outside,
It's actually warm.
then
in
it
the
feels
water.
warm in
Yeah.
the water. The reverse is not true though.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. You've never done it, Brent?
I've never done that. I probably would. I've done it in Maine one time when it was like,
That's real cold.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
freezing.
Yeah,
So
it's
I
like
think if
50,
I could
it's
do
like
Maine,
58 here.
Yeah, I could do
I
it
know.
here.
Ah, here we go.
The old Northeast thick
All
blood.
right,
Dude.
here we go. All right, so your newest watch starting to ship out this week, right?
Well, yes.
You got a little run into the.
We can talk about, luck and skill in a minute if
Very
you want. But
unluck.
yes, it'll be shipping in the next week or so.
And it's called the Travis. And I actually
Why
have
Travis?
my very own Travis
So
here.
why is it called the Travis?
Yeah, so it's another diver piece, and it's called Travis after Lake Travis. And so, most of the, any of the themed watches. So if it's a diver, I want it to be named after something around, water. So Barton Springs, Deep Eddy, now Travis. So it's just a different variation, a smaller, a 39 millimeter watch for, being named after Lake Travis.
Was it the Lake Travis model that you color matched the water and the
That was actually the
trees?
Deep Eddy.
That was the Deep Eddy.
Yeah,
one. Okay.
the Deep Eddy. Yeah, there were different colorways, and I take Pantones, and I literally went to Deep Eddy and tried to match the color of that pool to the color of the dial.
And you actually captured a little of the water in a vial and put it into each watch.
Yes,
right?
a little bit of it's with each one. It's water and movements go very well together.
Oh man.
But you know what? Just real quick on that. So the Deep Eddy, that color was, a very interesting. I call it lagoon, but it was a very interesting kind of teal color.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about luck. I had made that design idea or that color idea came many months before the Tiffany Paddock, right? But I happened to have launched that piece right when that Paddock came out, and the lagoon flew off the shelf.
That's
So
crazy.
again, it's just pure luck because it's a very similar color, and I had nothing to. You can't make a, at least a
place,
micro
right
brand
time,
cannot
you
make
know?
a dial that quickly. So
Yeah.
it was just luck.
Ahead of the
Right
curve,
place, right
baby.
time,
Yeah.
So with this new release, this watch stands out from your other watches you've done by implementing and introducing a new set of technology called D-Protect, D-Adjust, and D-Change. Care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some conversation around the usage
naming?
of D. Yeah. which simply stands for DuFrane. DuFrane Protect.
What else could it stand for? I don't know.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
it was D for degenerate.
Oh, I thought it was D for...
D is nuts. He's nuts. So what is it?
Yeah,
What is,
so there's this is a little bit of the marketing machine coming out of DuFrane. So this is 6.5 years in the making to say, hey, let's market some of this these features that we're adding to this watch. So the D Protect is simply a DLC coating that drives about 5.5 times more scratch resistance from the stainless steel case. So the D Protect is that scratch resistance. The D Adjust is the buckle system is a micro adjustment without any tools. Just use your fingernail. And then the D Change is just simply quick release spring bars on the actual bracelet. So we have that on a lot of straps anyway, but this is the first time we've done it on a bracelet.
All right. So with the introduction of the D's, right?
These nuts.
Yeah, with the introduction of that, why didn't you want to just think of any creative names? Is that why?
Just the D. It's
It's just easy, right?
Right.
Unfortunate
A Protect doesn't sound good. B
Yeah.
But it's
Protect
good. It's
doesn't
good
sound
branding. It's like it's your own.
That was the
name.
idea.
Yeah.
That was
I
the
mean,
idea
it's
behind it.
branding.
Yeah. No. As far as the reach it does or what it's supposed to do, absolutely fantastic.
It's killing it.
And I mean, so if you look at DuFrane anywhere, actually, if you look at Google, on your fucking website, on Shopify, literally everywhere,
Yeah.
there is not one bad review.
Yeah.
So
Good reviews all the way around.
Good reviews all the way around. So actually, what I want to do is I'm gonna call someone who bought one of your watches and get their opinion off the cuff.
Good.
No prior introduction. I'm calling him right now.
This is like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Phone a friend.
Yeah.
What if they're at church?
He does not go to church. This guy does not go to church. Hey, Madison. It's me. It's Jay. I'm calling to ask you a question about DuFrane. I know because you've had it for a while. It was like a journey for you, and I wanted to see what are some of your thoughts. You're on the podcast. This episode 27. So go ahead. You're on speakerphone.
All right. Is it recording live? Are we in action?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Well, as a novice in the watch collecting world, I've been very grateful for the experience I've had with DuFrane. So I went with the Deep Eddy, which has got a real deep blue tint to it, and it's great because I can wear it in casual occasions as well as more sophisticated evening events because of how dark it is. The silicone band is really nice and elegant too, real comfortable. But I'm really interested in DuFrane's latest release, the Travis.
Yo, hold on. Just to make it clear, guys, this was not planned or anything. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, and I'm not trying to just like pitch them. I just really been excited about getting into watches with DuFrane. I tend to be fairly conservative with items like this.
So you don't like women's rights and stuff? Or?
Going with DuFrane was really I was fortunate to be introduced to it through Jay actually. One of the things about these small independent watchmakers are they don't have the name and the history backing their brand to be able to sell these like entry priced watches just off the shelf without giving a lot of attention to the detail, the design, the care, the quality, because they're out here making a name for themselves in the market. Okay. So I feel like my investment into a DuFrane watch is really an investment in a way because it's only going to appreciate in value as their brand builds. And for the price point of getting into DuFrane, I couldn't be happier.
Oh, wow.
Shit. Okay, Madison, thanks. That's sick. Also, yeah, DuFrane guy is here.
Yeah,
on the
DuFrane
podcast.
DuFrane guy.
Yeah, Steven is here. So thanks for that.
Good, man. Thank you so much, Madison. I really appreciate that.
All right, Madison, I'm going to hang up.
Okay. Thank you, Madison. So let's do some site reviews now.
Okay, hold on. So let me just...
Okay, you want to unpack that real quick?
Was a lot to unpack.
Yeah, let's unpack that.
I expected him to like it. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was...
When did he get on your payroll?
Yeah,
Steven?
Yeah,
that seemed like a payroll page.
I've got to
He
write
said he
a
was trying to
check.
get into the marketing. He's doing guerrilla marketing tactics.
I like that. That's nasty. But hey, dude, he was talking about the Travis. When he said that, I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. Wow.
I guess he has been kind of paying attention though.
Yeah, because he has
bought,
two of them.
no,
right?
he has one.
I thought he had the City Limits one that he bought for his friend.
He bought
He bought it for
for
his
a
friend.
friend.
Yeah.
Wow.
to like
He's,
get
he's
into it.
a true fan of yours.
No, that's awesome. We met at a coffee shop and got to know him a little bit more. So I'm glad that he is enjoying the Deep Eddy, and I look forward to seeing him again with a Travis.
That's so funny, dude.
That's awesome.
So yeah, like Steven right now, he even just said he met him at a coffee shop.
Which is funny because we are looking at a verified buyer review on your website named Michael F. And he said, Steven went out of his way to meet me at a local coffee shop to show me all the models I was interested in. Really appreciate the time he took on just an expression of interest. I ended up buying 2 watches and I'm very happy with both.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you remember that experience?
I do. So that's the thing that I think I don't have a retail store, right? And so I have to make myself available. And when somebody expresses an interest and they want to see it, it pains me if I can't meet them, right? Especially if they're not in Austin. So I absolutely love meeting folks. And I think it changes that kind of experience they have because they get to meet and hear any stories, ask any questions, whatever it is that they, find interesting. I try to give them, what they're asking for.
So why not just have them come by your home and
well,
enter your house, strangers?
The dog wouldn't appreciate that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and read a couple more reviews, man.
Let's get a little more in there.
Here's one by Devin D on 08/17/22. See, like the best part about this is I'm reading the names and Steven's like thinking of, oh, that person.
Who is that person?
Like, yeah, he reacted as soon as I said Devin. So he said, this particular watch is an incredible value considering the quality materials and the proven reliable movement used within. I love hearing the crank every day as I wind it up and love listening to the inner workings as the mechanicals run smoothly and produce those satisfying sounds of time ticking onward on the Bergstrom Air.
Nice.
God,
Man,
fucking
these
nice
people
review.
love you.
Yeah, they love you.
No,
Love you.
I'm telling you, I have the best customers. I mean, I really do.
You got another one for me, Bren, or?
It's just all 5-star all the time. Class act! ! ! By Richard W.
I got one. With John C. Great watch made in Texas. When I decided I might need another watch, I decided I wanted an American-made watch. After researching, I wanted to see if there was a Texas-based company. Lo and behold, I found DuFrane. Pulled the trigger, and in a few days, I received my DuFrane Waterloo. Must say, it exceeded my expectations. Great watch at this price point. I'll be looking at a Bergstrom or Travis soon. John C. Do you remember John C?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You do?
I mean, yeah, a lot of times I have, like, they'll reach out either through my little chat, mechanism on the website or email and have full-on conversations with folks.
This guy's named Robert N. This watch is beautiful and beyond description. It is obvious that the creation of the wonderful timepiece was inspired by a true artist. I am fortunate to own one. Wow, he calls you true artist. Hey, it's funny. I bought a watch from before and I put in a review. I don't see it up here. Do you filter these reviews?
Are these filtered reviews?
No, they post. I don't have any say in
Let
the
me
matter.
read mine. Hey, I just got the watch and it's running plus 2 seconds a day fast. I want to refund or fix this immediately.
I know it's...
Yeah.
I wonder why that's
How did you
not
know that it was 2 seconds
I
fast?
use my phone.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's always that's always the fun one. But that's fine. That's fine.
So, yeah, I mean, everything here is showcasing that it was always good. Honestly, I want to find one 4-star review.
I think there is a
Bro,
there's
where?
it's going to be a ways back, but I mean it's based on accessories. And there's an accessory that I had.
Oh, is it that shitty like box? Not box thing. It's like
no, it was one of the bracelets. Shitty box thing.
Okay, that's cool. Let's say you guessed. I'll be on Watch Cringe. Well, you get someone.
Well, there's the podcast title.
Yeah,
the Cringe. There
it is.
No, there is a couple in there where the bracelet just didn't meet the guy's expectations. That's totally fair.
Oh,
totally
a bracelet.
Fair. Yeah.
Do you give him his money back, or you just blacklisted him, take his?
No,
okay.
I comment right underneath it. Says, "Hey, reach out to me. I want to help you out."
You're a respectable business owner.
Good guy.
Yeah.
I guess another question that we want to know is how many watches do you sell a year? Is it a lotto?
No, I mean I try to stay in the 400 to 500 per year range. Mm-hmm. If I go much more than that, like I said, it starts to change. Yeah, it starts to change my ability to do what I'm doing effectively now. So it's in that range. I probably could expand that a little bit more, but I don't want to add any channels. I don't want to go to retail. I don't want to do any of those things. So I kind of like it where it's at. Yeah.
I mean, the way that you're doing it now, the approach is honestly fucking awesome. Like it's beautiful, actually. I guess is the word that would even describe it.
I
Like
appreciate
seeing
that.
the responses of these people.
Yeah. The only thing I would change or that I would like to change is I'd love to have a physical presence, not to sell from a retail perspective, but I guess, of course, for people to come in. But I would love to have my shop behind it. I have visions of a coffee machine, an espresso machine, some bourbon sitting around, leather couches. Just a extension of what I'm trying to portray through the website and social channels of a cool kind of place to come and hang out and check out the pieces. That is something that I probably will get into.
Well, you guys have free Wi-Fi there?
Well,
And electricity?
you would have to buy a watch though to get the Wi-Fi
So
code.
this sounds like sounds like a DuFrane con.
DuFrane Con.
It's like a convention for
Convention.
DuFrane, dude.
Yeah.
Like a 1 year, like once a year thing in Austin, Texas.
yeah. DuFrane,
In Brendan's
DuFrane Buyers
neighborhood.
Club.
in
Right.
my neighborhood on the street.
You know you're in a good neighborhood when you see school buses parked outside.
You saw those?
You saw it, dude.
And like the box trucks too. That box truck, I swear, he's parked out there for like months. He hasn't moved it. I've almost gotten in accidents because I can't see.
dude, can't see
you
around
could like
it.
blocks
Yeah.
like
I cannot
a third
see.
of the vision. Honestly,
It's driving me nuts. It's driving me absolutely nuts.
So, I mean, now I'm curious. Are you thinking of ever getting into precious metals?
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah. And so here again, the whole concept of when I run, I come up with ideas. So I'll share this with you. So I am looking at potentially coming up with a, not a big run, but a small run. Probably will send it to the customer base and see who wants to buy it. But I'll probably change the name of DuFrane to the actual original spelling, the French spelling of DuFrane.
How do you spell that? How do you spell that?
DuFresne. So that's the original DuFrane.
DuFresne?
Right. That's how Americans would pronounce
Sounds like
it.
a soda.
And so DuFresne, when my family immigrated, they changed it to the very easy to pronounce DuFrane way of spelling it. But I would probably look to make a higher level line for precious metal and call it DuFrane,
So
but spelled differently.
you are a true artist because you're French.
Well,
Got the French
yeah.
blood. Artist.
Irish, I thought.
I thought
no,
you
French.
just said French.
Don't
Same
you-
thing though. White
Can-
people,
can't
you know what I mean?
they all look the same.
Yeah, they all look the same.
We all look the same, y'all. I know.
But let me tell you though, Steven aged like wine
Yeah.
compared to the other
Like a
white people I
fine
know.
white wine.
Like actually.
Fine white wine.
So with the precious metals thing sounding like a big deal, I
So-
mean, we were wondering.
Yeah, gold, platinum, that sort of.
I'm playing right now. I haven't decided yet.
Plutonium.
Yeah.
uranium.
Uranium mixed with plutonium. It will glow forever. No, I'm playing around right now with either silver, gold, or platinum.
Shit, silver sounds
Yeah.
so sick.
Yeah.
So
We'll see. We'll see.
That seems like pretty good, man. Are you looking to hire?
Yeah.
yeah.
He was shaking his head.
I tell you
no.
what, if you could assemble, the answer would be yes. I would be looking, but yeah.
Nah, I can't do
It's
that.
assembly.
My
it's
hands
assembly.
shake too much. I've
Yeah.
got too much caffeine coursing through my veins.
Can't do that. And I mean, that pretty much covers the product. I
mean,
learned so much
Yeah,
today.
I learned so much. That was a great. And I
Awesome.
think another thing to point out is Steven does these meetups with local watch groups, including ours. I mean, he's a part of ours, but with other ones as well. And he'll take some. He actually had us come by his workshop and kind of show us how things are done, which is really cool to see his workshop.
Yeah, you get to see
So-
the process from him putting it together and just seeing everything.
Yeah. Well, Steven, thank you so much for your time, man.
I am honored. Thank you guys both.
No,
Had a
for real,
great
like
time.
that was a good time.
It was
I
actually a
learned
great
so much,
episode. Yeah.
and the ASMR was fucking off the cuff.
Let's
Just-
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
Dude, I
let's-
already
yeah.
wound it. Have you wound it?
No.
Dude, fuck.
Let's
So
do
let's-
ASMR
yeah.
right up on the mic right now.
Awesome.
Hold on. It's so fucking good. The clicks.
Chunky. From the 60s.
I can't stand up right now.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Episode 27.
right. See you guys.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.